This excerpt was taken from Rabbi Aaron L. Raskin article called Tet, the ninth letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Story: Avraham Rosenberg, an Israeli descendant of the rabbinic dynasty of Ger Hasidim, had been a teacher in Brazil for 5 years. On one of his trips back to Israel, he stopped off in New York, visited the Chabad, and was very impressed. He eventually moved to Crown Heights, Brooklyn, New York. One night, the loud ringing of the telephone woke him from his sleep. His brother was calling from Israel with very troubling news. Their father had suffered a serious heart attack a few hours before. His condition was serious, almost critical. As soon as Abraham put down the receiver, he considered immediately booking a flight to Israel, but on second thought, he realized that his traveling could not help the situation. Instead, he decided to write a letter to the Rebbe asking for his holy blessing. Fearing the worst, he began to write with a trembling hand. It was extremely difficult for him to concentrate. His mind would not let him rest. "I don't know what to think," were the final words in his letter. With a heavy heart, he handed the letter to the Rebbe's secretary. While he was waiting for an answer, he took out his book of Psalms and began to recite some chapters. The tears choked him. Creator of the universe, why? A few minutes later, the Rebbe's secretary handed him back the letter he had written. The Rebbe had struck a line to the words, "I don't know what to think," and wrote the following in the margin: "Amazing, the command of our sages in such situations is well known. Tracht gut, wird zain gut. Think positively, and it will be good. And I expect to hear good news." Instantly, Abraham's mood changed from one extreme to another. He was filled with optimism and hope for a better future for his father, as if someone had shaken him out of his lethargy, out of those destructive thoughts that had brought him to depression. The color returned to his face. He opened his book of Psalms with renewed faith in God. The words flowed from his mouth with joy. His trust in the Rebbe and in the Rebbe's instructions to think positively put hope for immediate salvation in his heart. He went to phone his family in Israel for the latest news about his father. The news was encouraging. Father's condition is no longer listed as life-threatening. But the big surprise came a few days later after the Mishnah service, when he met the Rebbe on his way out of his base midrash. "Nu, do you have any good news for me?" the Rebbe asked him. "Yes, I spoke with the family on the phone, and my father's condition has improved." "When did this happen?" the Rebbe questioned. "2 days ago." "And when did you begin to think positively?" "As soon as I received the Rebbe's response 2 days ago." "You see," the Rebbe said, "even though you should never have to know from such things, be aware that one should always think positively." Abraham Rosenberg's father merited 17 more years of life. The gematria of the word tov, which means good, is 17. He was even able to travel to meet the Rebbe himself.